morning fell on Elderbell village, but the sun never came. A strange gloom covered the hills, and the air felt heavy with silence. Something was not right. Suddenly, the fountain's water turned green. A sickly glow pulsed beneath the surface, and whispers of unease swept through the village. Across the village, people grew weak. One by one, they collapsed, too tired to stand, too sick to speak. A heavy silence fell over Elderbell. Without warning, the village's plants began to wither. Leaves curled, flowers drooped, and crops turned to dust, as if the land itself had fallen ill. Mina jolted awake in her old, creaky bed, eyes wide with alarm. A chill ran down her spine as if something terrible had happened, and somehow, she already knew. Mina walked to the old well. The water was green. Her eyes filled with worry. Something was terribly wrong. Toby ran up to Mina's house, his face filled with panic. He didn't know what was happening, but he could feel something was terribly wrong. Soon, Mina came running up behind him, her face just as worried, but the fear was written all over her expression. Mina rushed to the village elder's house, hoping for answers, but he too was ill-pale, weak, and barely able to speak. Her heart sank further. Desperately, Mina leaned closer. "What's happening?" she asked, her voice trembling. "How can we fix this?" With great effort, the elder whispered, I think it's a curse, but I don't know much. Only stories, old and forgotten." His voice faded with each word. The elder gathered his strength. "Find Elder Aldous," he murmured. "He knows the old magic, more than I ever did." Then he closed his eyes, exhausted. Before seeking out Elder Aldous, Mina turned toward Rosaline's cottage. Worry clung to her heart. She had to make sure her dear aunt was safe. Rosaline gave a faint smile as Mina rushed in. "I'm just a little unwell, dear," she said gently. "Don't worry about me, go help the village. They need you." Mina asked quietly, "What's happening?" Aldous looked grim. "It's the forgotten curse, from the Forsaken Grounds," he said, voice low and firm. Aldous continued, his voice low and steady. "This land was once cursed, long ago." Aldous went on, his eyes distant with memory. "His ancestors once journeyed to a distant place, seeking to lift this ancient curse." Aldous took out an old, rotten map and pointed to a spot. His voice gradually turned into a whisper as he said, "It is the curse of the wasteland." He admitted he did not know what awaited them there, nor what needed to be done, but if there was any hope of breaking the curse, they would have to go. Mina looked at Elder Aldous, noticing the wear of age etched into his face. With quiet determination, she stepped forward and said, "I'll go in your place." Suddenly, Toby and Mina appeared, their faces set with determination. In unison, they declared firmly, "We're going with you." Of course, Mina refused without hesitation. The three of them quickly found themselves in a heated argument, voices rising as determination clashed with concern. Elder Aldous smiled gently, his voice calm and reassuring. "There's no need to argue," he said. "Go together. It's the only way you'll be able to help one another." Elder Aldous touched Toby gently, and in that instant, his hand began to glow. He was transferring a mysterious power into the boy. The same with Nina placed his hand on her, and a soft light bloomed once more. He was passing his power to her as well. "I have given you my strength," Elder Aldous said gently, his voice filled with warmth. "Do your best, all of you." Toby and Mina glanced at each other, then began checking themselves curiously, wondering if anything had changed. "Don't worry," Mina said with confidence, her eyes shining with determination. "We'll break the curse and save this village." As the gentle rain fell around them, the three walked quietly down the path, leaving the village behind in solemn silence. The mysterious girl stood waiting at the village's edge, calm and unreadable. Who was she, really, and why was she waiting for them? She stepped forward quietly, her voice calm but firm. "My name is Andrea," she said. "I want to come with you." Toby and Mina looked at her, unsure. "Why do you want to come with us?" Toby asked. Andrea didn't answer. She simply smiled. Mina turned to Toby and whispered, "It's okay. I don't think she's a bad person." And so, the four of them set off once more, into the dark, mist-covered forest. Ahead of them stood a distant, towering mountain. Their journey was only just beginning. They had walked for a long while, and now the forest grew thicker with every step. Sunlight no longer reached the forest floor. Mina quickly pulled out the map, checking the path to make sure they were still going the right way before moving on. After a long while, Mina began to grow tired. She was hungry and she needed to rest. Mina agreed it was getting dark. She pulled out the map and pointed ahead. "There's a small stream not far from here," she said. "Let's rest there." Before long, they reached the stream. With nightfall approaching, they decided to make camp there. Toby and Mina volunteered to catch some fish for dinner. With a grin and a spark of excitement, they headed toward the stream, ready for the task. Mina and Andrea offered to gather firewood. With a quiet nod to each other, they disappeared into the trees, their eyes scanning the forest floor. Toby and Mina were thrilled to return with several fish in hand. This was something they were good at. While collecting firewood, Mina and Andrea chatted, slowly getting to know each other better. The four of them gathered once more beside the stream, choosing a small clearing nearby to set up their shelter for the night. Mina raised her wand and began to cast a spell, hoping to summon a small cottage where they could rest for the night. Instead of a cozy cottage, a crooked giant mushroom appeared once again. Her magic, it seemed, was still as unpredictable as ever. Mina and Andrea stood with their mouths agape, stunned. They could hardly believe their eyes. Toby and Mina couldn't stop laughing, showing no mercy as they chuckled at Mina's magic mishap. But once inside, they found it warm and spacious, lit softly by glowing mushrooms clinging to the walls. Mina stood with her arms crossed and a smug smile on her face. "Well, exactly as I planned," she declared confidently, completely ignoring the fact that it was clearly not. Mina and Andrea sat together, studying the map closely as they discussed the route for tomorrow's journey. Meanwhile, Toby and Mina were savoring their freshly grilled fish, their faces lit with joy as they shared bites and laughter by the crackling fire. The dense forest under the pale glow of the moon was surprisingly beautiful. With a quiet breath, they could only hope the night would pass peacefully. As the darkness of night faded away, the first light of morning spilled gently across the land, bringing with it a sense of calm and quiet hope. As the first light of dawn touched the earth, Mina rose to her feet, eyes shining with renewed determination. Today, her resolve to help the village burned even stronger than it had the day before. Their journey continued, and ahead of them loomed Whist Hollow Forest, the haunted woodland where every whisper hides a lie, and not everything is as it seems.